Okay, so I finally managed to find somebody to bring me in a Red Lion Precision forend for my Kel-Tec Sub2k. Place out of Mo, I think that's Missouri. Sorry, Americans. But anyway, there's a place, Iron Eagle Tactical. Gentleman that runs a company, Larry. I spoke with him on the phone at quite a length. Pleasant guy to talk to. Had a very nice chit chat with him, and he assured me that he could bring the forend in a fairly timely manner, and he did exactly as he said. And honestly, I have thrown all kinds of money at this in the past. Now, I got my money back, but nobody was actually ever able to do it. And Larry was able to do it for basically a very minimal surcharge on top of what Red Lion charges. But then he includes free shipping, so it's almost like I really don't think he makes any money on this at all. It's really almost not worth his time. I hope he gets something out of it somehow or somewhere, because I really like dealing with him. He got me the parts. You know, it was actually 2 weeks to the day, and that includes, you know, it coming across the border, getting transferred to Canada Post, and then Canada Post getting it to here to me on the island here. I was very impressed with the speed of the whole thing. Very impressed. So I'm hoping this is very profitable for him, and he does more stuff like this and gets us Canadians all looked after, because it's very hard to get some of this nice stuff out of the States. And it's not the Canadian laws, it's the U.S. export laws that are very stringent for some reason. Really not sure why. I don't completely understand it. I asked Larry, he didn't understand it either. It makes no sense, really. If you're looking for two countries more friendly to each other than the U.S. and Canada, you really be hard pressed to find any two countries that are so friendly anywhere else on the globe. There just isn't anything like it. We're pretty much family, yet we have some really strange restrictions on stuff going across the border. But anyway, nonetheless, I got my forend. Thank you very much, Larry. I was very pleased with the price and the speed and everything, and here's all the parts. Now, I've never actually seen one of these before. I've heard they're good. I've heard they're nice. And everything I see here in front of me now just speaks of quality. The finish is very nice. All the tolerances and all the pieces are very tight. Like, it is just, it's beautiful. It's worth every penny. It's somewhat on the expensive side, but I really think it's worth it. They put a lot of effort into making a nice product here, and I don't have a problem with paying for that at all. This is just beautifully done. Cheers to Red Lion Precision. Nice work, guys. Anyway, there it is. Biggest excitement to this whole thing is getting your front sight off. As you can see, I pretty much tortured mine. Front blade was already broken on it, so I really didn't care to save it. I didn't like it. I never cared for the thing. Yeah, you can adjust it. It takes a bit of goofing around, and it can be done. The gun was quite accurate with the plastic sights, despite the fact they're plastic. Would I ever want to put it back on? No. If I want sights on this again, I'm going to order the metal sights from Red Lion Precision and put them on. They'd be much easier to deal with and probably look a hell of a lot better. Without the front sight on it and the forend, it probably is going to look a bit like a shaved poodle, but I really don't think I care at this point. I'm more concerned with the functionality of the rifle and try and keep the weight down, and if that means there's no front sight and it looks a little silly, I really don't care. I just want it to work and work good. So anyway, I'll get to putting this all together, and I'll continue the video along in a few minutes. Okay, here's my forend all installed. Not much to it. Took me about 10 minutes, including making a coffee or whatever. No big deal. Doesn't look too bad. It probably would look better with something on the end of the barrel. whatever. You know, I suppose I could thread it and put a flash hider or a muzzle brake on it, and oops, well, that's not going to happen anyway. This is what it's going to look like for the rest of its life, right like that. I would never bother putting anything like that. But if you wanted something and wanted to look a little more balanced, that would be probably the thing to do. But anyway, there it is, very solid. They gave you a complete set of extra hardware for these screws and nuts. In the instructions, they basically say tighten them up as much as you possibly can. And I guess they're thinking they send you extra hardware just in case you're a gorilla and manage to break them. I snugged them up crazy tight and they didn't break, so there we have it. Works very well. Nice and simple. There you go. Index it over. Index it to the side. However you like it. Quite the outfit. And I'll go throw a scope on there, and I'll think about removing or cutting off the rear sight. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with that. I don't think it needs to be there, so I might actually pull it off now. There is a provision for it right there. That cutout is the provision for it to fold up and fit snug. Oops. Leave it loose. There it is. I don't know how well I can see that, but it's nice and snug. The only negative to not having the front sight is you can't use this locking piece here. It's going to flop around or whatever. I don't care. But anyway, there you have it. I'll show it again with the scope all mounted. Not sure which scope I'm going to put on it. I'll have to think about that for a few minutes. See what I have kicking around. And get it all set up. Looks nice though. Okay, here's my Redline Precision forend with a scope mounted on it. It's actually been about 3 months since I last shot the videos regarding this forend. And since then I've run quite a bit of ammunition through this rifle. And I can say this forend does everything I had dreamed and hoped it would do. It's absolutely fantastic for holding zero. It's sturdy. This nut does not loosen off during firing. That was really my only concern. It's just, you don't need to tighten it up crazy or anything like that. You can just finger tighten it. And when you want to fold it up, you just loosen it right off and away you go. One thing I don't think I showed in the other video, and I'm going to go ahead and do it, of course I tightened it up a little too much, is the whole assembly can come right off just with the indexing nut. There you go. So you can get at the barrel and clean it and get into the cage and clean in there and add more things to it if you want. So it's not like it makes the gun harder to clean. It's probably one of my easiest firearms to clean, to be honest. The exception of a single shot, but I think the only other thing I need to add is, oh yeah, I had to Loctite these screws. When I was putting it together, I really should have knew better, but I didn't. And I found after about 50 shots, even though I had snugged these down a fair bit, that they would loosen off and the cage would start rattling on the indexing part, and of course it would get really inaccurate. It was very noticeable. Kind of a silly thing to not do when I was putting the gun together. I had Loctite within an arm's reach of me and I didn't use it. Stupid, but anyway, learned from my stupidity and go ahead and use Loctite. Really, you could use red Loctite on this and just have it never, these screws never come off. There's really no need to to get in there. And you know, if you did, you could just apply a bit of heat and get it off. I did take the rear sight off. Very easy to do. You just back the screw out, pull it out, put the screw back in, and you're done. You don't have to cut or anything. Just make sure you don't lose it. Other than that, there's really no penalty for taking that rear sight off. It's very easily done. I did need to do it. I like where this scope is sitting, so I didn't want to have it any higher. It would have necessitated having a riser in here, and I just kind of wanted to have the whole thing as minimalistic as possible. It already looks pretty crazy the way it sits, but you know what? It's worked out really well. I'm very happy with it. Not really anything more I can say about it. I do recommend it. And while it's an investment over the cheaper methods, it is much more reliable and durable in the long run to spend the money and purchase this. So that's about all I have to say about it. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'm usually pretty quick on responding. If I'm not, it's probably because I'm out shooting. Or it could very nice weather's coming. I could be out sailing too. I tend to go away for a few days to do that. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video, and we'll talk to you later.